It's been very fun to watch you have a few people on your new show talking about mental health. Solomon Thomas is one of them, Lane Johnson another. But you've included in
Brandon
your
Marshall was a guest on my show every week last year.
Yes, and
he was a bit of a pioneer when it comes to, people want to think what they want about Brandon Marshall. Everyone has an opinion on him, of course, but he really was back in the day one of the first NFL players to come out and say, this is something that we should be talking about more. It's a big part of the game, and I want other people to be more open and vulnerable about it. Well, they inspire me. All of the athletes inspire me.
Well, it's incredible how they speak up. I had our mutual friend Nate Burleson on earlier this season.
My brother.
We got to get Brandon Marshall on, so we'll send this to him, and then he'll do it after this.
Nate and I had this amazing, unique thing that we got to sit every morning for 3 hours, Brandon, and meet NFL players, and also through he was there 5 years, I was there 6 years. Mm-hmm. Through this span, watch the idea of mental health awareness become more than something that flashed on the screen.
Yeah.
More than, let's play homage to this for this given month or this given whatever. And we really got to, as you have, over 3 hours a day, players come on all the time. And you could see it would become more normalized. It would become something that ended up helping players. And when you have players like a Nick or Joey Bosa, and you have a player like recently this week, Tristan Wirfs, like these badass athletes come out and say, yeah, I struggled a little bit. I can now tell, and I'll be honest with you, without even saying it, I can tell this week on my training camp tours, when a player says something like, I'm just trying to be where my feet are. I'm like, that is being taught. That is something that you are talking to someone about, and you can really pick that up off of the players these days. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot. Living is a lot. Being at that level, being competitive is a lot.
When did you kind of realize that it was something that you needed to take care of?
I think with being around these NFL players who are more and more open, as I said earlier, it's super inspiring. And I think you just have to get to a place on your own terms in your own life. And it's sort of obviously the normalization of it, the vulnerability of people who are using their platform to be open about, not even advocate for. Not everybody has to be Hayden Hurst, who does so much in his community. I just went on, they had their podathon a couple of weeks ago, and I was happy to jump on.
Him and his mom are so amazing with the work they do.
I got back from Italy and was on like an hour later and said, absolutely, I'll do anything, because he really means it, and he's he's a brilliant advocate for it. I think you get to a place in your life, pandemic, if I'm being honest, really kicked me out of a hamster wheel that I was comfortable in. I think that's my mental health journey. I'm very comfortable being a tough cookie who I've worked through a kidney infection, kidney stones. I've had a surgical procedure the night before a show, and I'm just like, I'm doing it. And then you get to pandemic and you get kicked out of this vibe and this circular situation that you're in, and you say, wait, what is important to me? Am I taking care of myself?
Yeah.
Do I even check in with myself? Or am I too concerned with distracting myself from what's really important? How much time's going to go by that I, will feel like I've wasted my life? And so that went into a lot of my pandemic self-care, whether it was, do I even do enough for myself physically, which affects my mental well-being? It all sort of connects. So what I've noticed is the person that I am on media, television, in interviews, on my show, I would like to be truly more like that person, because I struggle more. And I sort of realized this with there's safety in being on TV, being live, as you're seeing today, in the action, because I'm very present in the moment. I'm not distracted by anything. I am there. You and I are talking right now. I don't care what's going on the other side. I don't care about my phone. I'm really here. And I have this big struggle with focusing or being present outside of it. I'm constantly belaboring the past. I'm constantly becoming really increasingly anxious about the future, about how, and it's a big undertaking also to start your own show. Yeah. That's your name, that, is that you're trying to build and build respectfully and all of that. So you really have to check in with yourself. Now, I started going to therapy very recently. I'd say within I stopped while I was in Italy. So I've been like 7 or 8 times. Okay. Just on Zoom. And it's like dating. Yeah. So I do want to say that it's you have to just get over it, because you have to, date around a little bit and find the person that you really feel safety with. I struggle just in general to feel safety and trust with people.
Yeah.
So I've tried 2 or 3. And now I'm finally, I think, in a great place where I'm speaking the right language and I'm learning and I'm growing and doing all of that. But just like the hour a week to just talk through some of your stuff. And I'm not unpacking some major childhood things. I feel very fortunate in that. But everybody deserves some space for yourself. Everyone deserves a little moment to talk. Now, I will say, I told my mom this, and she's like, "Oh God, what's wrong?" Like, her therapy is still this alarming, old school. What's wrong with you? And I said, no, like I'm trying to make myself the best version of myself that I can be. And so I encourage anybody to do that. And you might strike out on the first person you go talk to or whatever. Meditation's really brilliant. I struggle with it because I'm insane, Brandon. But just in my head, just a little. I struggle to focus, but I want to be the person I am when I'm present, like in this moment, all of the time. That's my goal.